Hello, welcome, and namaste. This is Moksha Mukti Apollo going live. What shall we talk about today? These are the people who share Moksha Mukti's links and videos, and their names have been drawn to win one-on-one session with Moksha Mukti Apollo. These 12 people I have on the list are Eulelia Trancoso, Sandra Ogborn, Cindy McCarthy Smith, Olga No, Sail Kumar Sharma, Jenny Jeffers, Vicky Reynolds, Michelle Cook Hill, Dawn Dees, Melanie Hawkins, Anna Flanagan Lynch, Jose Saenz, Sherry Lewis Lowe. So these 12 people name have been drawn to win a one-on-one session with Moksha Mukti Apollo. So if you share Moksha Mukti's links and videos, you also have an opportunity to win one-on-one session with Moksha Mukti Apollo. Just a little FYI on the side. So far there's no comments, or I'm not seeing the comments. And so far I'm not seeing the comments. Where are the comments? Okay, now I see comments. Lori Nelly. By the way, namaste everyone. Thanks for all joining, and thanks for joining this gathering. This is true gathering, or true association that is happening. And you're asking questions from direct life experience, and Moksha Mukti shall speak regarding that. And he is going to simply describe how he is functioning. You can accept it, you can reject it, or you can be neutral. It's not Moksha Mukti's concern. He is simply describing how he is functioning. And this description is given to you by natural functioning. Moksha Mukti is functioning naturally, and some of you may call authentically. And there is authority within that authenticity, and he's speaking from that authenticity and authority. And this authority is not like authority that you have like a government authority or some authority in power. It's not like that. It's just the authority of authenticity, simply expressing. And Lori Nelly says, how do you live in authenticity? Well, that's what it is. there is no how. You see, what Moksha Mukti's point from this authenticity is that he can point you to your source that is available to you now in this present moment. It is available to you, and it simply requires your attention. And when you give attention to that source, it itself creates authenticity. It itself gives you possibility to create authenticity. It itself creates possibility, infinity possibilities for you. Anita De Frati says, what's in store for me for the rest of the year? Anita, Moksha Mukti is not a psychic. So, and he is describing how he is functioning and what he sees from his functioning. Authenticity and natural functioning is that you are speaking that from your thought, and you are trying to feed your thought instead of to the source. What Moksha Mukti is pointing to recognize that you are feeding your thoughts. Sherry, Louis, Low, Sherry, you're back again. How are you? Namaste, my lovely. Namaste, namaste. How are you? Thanks for joining again. Laurie Nelly says namaste, namaste, Laurie. Alexandria Walsh James. Hello, namaste, friend. Hello, Alexandria. Thanks for coming back here. Namaste. And I was trying to see if Alexandria. Okay, name is not here. All right, so I hope this feed is dynamic, so I can see your comments. Or maybe it's not dynamic. Maybe I have to keep on refreshing to see your comments. Okay, so that's it, Harley. I think if I get any more comment out of you like that, I'm going to block you. See, there is a limitation of everything, and your limitation, your stupidity is just, is going to block my expression. There is, everything has a limitation. We gave you plenty of chance in the last occasion. There was a plenty of chance for you, but now, Athena Marie Santiago said, namaste, namaste, Athena. Writes, how do you find balance between the human experience of the truth of the great illusion and our true spirituality? There isn't a soul balance. You can search all your life and you're not going to find it, Athena. Only way you can find so-called balance is giving attention to the source that is available to you now in the present moment, and that is describing to you by your thoughts. Elizabeth Durago, hey Elizabeth, you're back again. Namaste, says namaste. Eulelia, you're back again. Says hello, namaste, namaste, Eulelia. Okay, finally this talks is being dynamic. Anne Flanagan says, hi Moksha, namaste, namaste Anne, thanks for joining. And says, Harley, if you have nothing nice to say, shut up. Sherry Lewis says, how are you today? Moksha Mukti is well. And Sherry Lewis says, I am fabulous. I really enjoy watching and learning. I'm trying to read your comments. Anne Flanagan writes, Moksha, it is all about the source, how it all began, what are made of. And that is not concerned to Moksha Mukti, how it began and what is the source. And that's not what Moksha Mukti is pointing. He's pointing you to give attention to the source. And for you to experience that. And in that experiencing, there is no how, what, when, who, and all that. It all dissolves in there. And there is a recognition, there is a infinite possibilities, and there is a possibility for you to experience profound experience, and there is a possibility for you to create miracle in your life. And Elizabeth, is that a smile or what is that sign? Are you laughing or are you going like that? Like that? Yeah, we don't really need to go into that. What is the source? Source is infinite, limitless. Thank Chris for sharing Moksha Mukti. Chris Garatino, I'm going to write your name here. Thanks for sharing. Moksha Mukti is a link. And you have opportunity to win a one-on-one session with Moksha Mukti. Anne says thank you. Elizabeth says smiley to be happy. Okay. Chris Garatino, hey Chris, thanks for joining. Namaste. By the way, thanks for sharing this live feed, and your name has been drawn to win a free one-on-one session with Moksha Mukti. That is if you're interested to go deeper. And Chris writes, a tree only has one purpose, and that is to simply be free, be a tree. trees do have much higher purpose. They provide oxygen, food, shelter, shade, and so much more. I don't know if a tree is aware or even concerned what is its higher purpose, but it doesn't even matter, because it's just being a tree is its higher purpose is fulfilled. So a tree only real concern is to be a tree. That's why we find them so peaceful, because what we could be more peaceful. Well, that is your imagination, Chris. That is your imagination that there is a higher purpose. It is higher purpose to the thought. You see? It's higher purpose to the thought. And everything is provided to you by source. And in the reality, there is no tree, there is no oxygen, simply is. Simply happening. This is simply happening. Every existence is simply happening. Universe is simply happening, dancing. And in this dance, all the data being created, perceived by the mind as this, that, and the other. Those are all imagination. And of course, is there oxygen? Of course, we have to accept there is oxygen. There is a collectively agreement. And whole society, you and I, everyone is functioning through this collective agreement, so-called society. But in that realm, yes. And Moksha Mukti is not pointing to a tree or anything. He is pointing to the source that is available to you now for you to experience, recognize, and see. Not seeing with your eyes, but seeing. Like a blind man's eyes is seeing. That is available to you now. Eulalia writes, can you talk about thoughts? Where do they come from? Are they energy? How do they reach our minds? You see, what Moksha Mukti is pointing to you, Eulalia, is that the source knows everything there is to know. And when you give attention to the source will itself reveal you. And in the revealing, there is an observing that is going on. In the observing reveals to you. So it requires your attention, it requires your effort for you to give attention to that and see that observing. And that observing will tell you. Thought is simply happening. Thought is energy, yes, it's energy. And it happens when you eat food. And it comes and goes. It's a tool, it's a mechanism. It comes and goes. It appears and disappears. And constantly thought is happening. And it is part of the mind. It is your part of the brain. See, there is an energy there. Up to 25 megawatt, not megawatt, 25 watts of energy. Sherry writes, so we are just simply happening. Yes. This is simply happening. We are happening. Everything is simply happening in the reality. And then there's another thing that is happening, created by the synthetic mind or the society or the mind. Someone created this reality. We're functioning, and that is also happening synthetically. And that is projected by the mind. If the mind is not projected, if you're not giving attention to the thought, if the thought is not projected onto that, then that collapses. And for you to be part of it, it needs to happen like that. Otherwise, people will say you're loony, you're outcast, you're this, that, and other. Then you'll be outcasted if you don't use to function there. But in the reality, it's not like that, because all your life you use thought, and you see, and without the thought, you cannot function there. But in the reality, You see, you exhaust and you come to a place like this. And you search. You seek. And you want to be at the source. Dan Ross says you say a lot but nothing. Yes, Dan Ross, I'm saying nothing. Nothing to you. Everything. The source is nothing. Everything happens into nothing and it goes to nothing. Just like a pinpoint. From there, Big Bang occurred and this universe appears from nothing. And it goes to nothing. And thought wants something. And it wants something, it wants something, it wants something. It wants whole Earth, planet Earth. It sucks up all energy out of Earth. It becomes nuisance to the humans. Nuisance to the animals, plants, insects, and the nature. And then what happens? Calamity happens. We've seen this many times. We've gone through many times. We've been here over a million years. Annabelle Geta says hello. Hello, Annabelle. Thanks for joining. Namaste. Prasant Kumar writes, who are you? I don't know who you are, Prasant Kumar. Who are you? And Flanagan says, should we always act on our thoughts? No, that's not what Moksha Mukti is saying, Anne. We are only acting on our... Actually, we are all reacting, but thought appears you as acting, and that acting only needs to happen in the two reasons: either naturally for you to survive, like to eat food, drink water, things like that, and to reproduce, and to function in the synthetic reality. There you are using thoughts. Without the thoughts you cannot function there. Hey, I receive a phone. I gotta take that phone call. Hang on just a second. I'll be right back. Okay, so I'm back. There was a phone call I needed to take, and see right here. I need to put this on, make sure that the sound is coming okay. Okay, so Chris writes, that was a metaphor I used to explain that our minds are too busy with what we are supposed to be, and we don't put enough effort into what being and quieting the mind. That is where we find inner peace. Well, that is assumption, Chris. You're giving another assumption. There is no really need to quieting the mind, and there is no need to search for inner peace. Thought is searching that. Thought is, your body is saying quiet the mind, because your body is exhausted, tired. And inner peace, you wanting inner peace because you're tired, exhausted. And in the source, what Moksha Mukti is pointing to you now, it doesn't require that much effort. You're saying too much effort. No, it doesn't require too much effort. It just requires simply attention, little effort. Once you recognize that, once you experience that, whatever you're searching, so-called peace or quieting the mind, it automatically happens. It naturally happens. Ilolia writes, if there is no purpose, why are we here on earth? Why does it rain, Ilolia? Why does sun shine? Why are we traveling on a 45,000 miles an hour with the sun, and the earth is traveling 45,000 miles an hour? Why is it happening that? Why is it happening that? So you can ask all those questions, and you're going to exhaust, because that the question asking for thought, and thought's taking you for circle. It's going to take you in a circle. There is no purpose in the reality, no, because it simply happened and simply happening. And when you recognize the source, when you experience the source, you see, then you are in the present moment, and then the purpose, whatever that question falls off. That question will fall off because that is, the question stems from the thought. Thought is asking the question. And for thought, there is a purpose. Without the purpose, thought cannot keep on going in this synthetic reality. Now, I sense that your attention is grabbed by the thought, which is okay. But for 15 seconds, see, as little as 15 seconds, Moksha Mukti is pointing you to give attention to the source. Spizua at Azarte Spizua. Hello Spizua, you're back again. Namaste. Writes, it's hard place for we live on with all this bombardment of TV work. How we are supposed to live and act. You have to undo what you have been told how to think in school. They program us. Yes, you are. TVs lie to you. All the TV is giving you information. Radio is giving you information. Your society is giving you information. You are overloaded. There is a information online and you're totally overloaded, exhausted, tired. You are programmed, you are conditioned by your society to function here. And now you have become a machine, a robot. Anne says, I love when you don't speak. The silence is lovely, very peaceful. When there is no need to speak, Moksha Mukti doesn't speak. Lorna Cooper says, how do we get past traumatic events in our lives? Wanting to get past of the traumatic events is causing you the problem. Because what is happening is simply happening, you have to accept that. Whatever happens is simply happen. And when you accept that, half of your traumatic experience will disappear. When you don't accept it, wanting to get rid of that experiencing too soon, because that has a duration, when you try to get rid of that too soon, that is causing you the problem. Now your trauma is exaggerated. It is exaggerated by the thought. There is a friction between your thought and the trauma itself. Trauma is there in the body, and the mind wants to get rid of it. And between that, there's a fight. It's causing you to be more traumatic. Every trauma has a duration. And you'll get over it. And if you need help, go seek help. But when you don't believe in the thought, it may disappear sooner than you anticipate. Lana Cooper says, thank you. You're welcome, Lana. And Moksha Mukti only speaks when there is a revelation that occurs to him in his consciousness, or that you put a comment there, and that comment is pushing Moksha Mukti's button for him to speak. Otherwise, yes, right, silence. What can be communicated in silence is perhaps more effective than what is communicated with these words. There is a pointer in the silence also. Adele Chappell. Hey Adele, thanks for joining. Namaste. Says, is there a deep-seated reason for not being able to have children? Perhaps. Who knows? Who knows the reality? No one knows. This is simply happening. And perhaps when you give, what Moksha Mukti is pointing, when you give attention to the source, and that's what you're really wanting, that's what you're really desiring, the attention that creates possibility for you to recognize the source, and when the recognition happens in the source, it's a possibility for you to create miracle and it's possible that you can bear child, you see. But then, of course, you have to find a man, or some modus operandi to conceive yourself. Ispizua says we should go back to the basics. Again, that is also, thought is saying that, Ispizua. Now you're forcing yourself. It simply requires, it's not like thinking. It's not imposing, you're trying to impose yourself onto yourself. It's not like that. Simply requires your attention, and that may be going back to basics, but who knows what that is. But simply it is asking for your attention subtly, not like thought. Thought is forceful. So what you're saying is coming from the thought that is forceful. But it is asking for your attention subtly, through your sickness, through your exhaustion, through your tiredness, through your boredom, through your loneliness, through your hatred, through your jealousy, through your sadness, all of them. Through calamity, it's pointing you to give attention to the source. You see? It says technology had destroyed. No, not the technology. Humans have destroyed themselves, not the technology. Thought has destroyed humans, not the technology. Wanting to get something more all the time has caused the problem. Adele says thank you. You're welcome, Adele. Pooja Bachani writes, sir, can you tell me of me? This is Pooja. Hi Pooja, thanks for joining. Namaste. I don't know who you are, Pooja. Moksha Mukti is not a psychic. And who is Pooja? Who is me? Who is Pooja? Ispizua Rice. Yes, you are right. Thank you. Somehow I am doing this from PC, so I can read Lisa Tram's question on the other page. So she writes, Namaste. Namaste, Lisa. I know you're there somewhere. But I'm keeping track of from the comment section. And Pooja writes, hello sir. Yes, I read your comment, Pooja. So you said you are Pooja. Who is that Pooja? Who is that me? Who is saying that to you? Pooja is a name given to you by your parents or your society. And me is something you identify to your mind body. Who is that Pooja? Who is that me? Pooja Res, I love to help people. It is always we have to charge them money. Pooja says, I am angel card reader. Pooja says, what for people have money minded? Pooja says, inner me. Pooja says, you read me, sir. So what do you want, Pooja? Yulilia says, so nice. Once you recognize the source, then everything will clear and everything will make sense, I guess. See, you're still thinking, Yulilia. I think when we go one-on-one session with you, I think it will make more sense to you. Because now you're thinking more, you're wanting something. Thought is wanting something. By coming here, you're wanting something. And Moksha Mukti is not giving you anything. He is simply pointing you to something that you already have available within you now. Pooja says, you smiling, you have many things in mind. No, Pooja, Moksha Mukti does not have many things in the mind. Simply expression. There is nothing in the mind, Moksha Mukti's mind. And Moksha Mukti does not know what he's going to say next. This is simply happening. Moksha Mukti is simply expressing the expression of the existence. Dorinda Louis says hello. Hello Dorinda, thanks for joining. Now says namaste, namaste. Dorinda says, I want a baby. Well, by coming here you're not going to get a baby. You need to find a man, Dorinda. Sherry say, right, so we don't need to watch every time. Watching what, Sherry? Vivian Oliveira says, I am back. Namaste. Namaste, Vivian. Thanks for coming back again. Again. This is your many trips here. You're keeping coming back, and each time Moksha Mukti says he has nothing to give, and you're still coming back. But glad you came back, glad to have you here. Pooja Bachchan says, sir, can you tell us about you? There is nothing to tell about Moksha Mukti. Pooja, he is simply speaking right now. What is happening is speaking. And if you need more information about Moksha Mukti, he will share a page here. I think I can do that now. You can go if you want to, if you're seeking information, and I'm going to I'm gonna put here at puja. So I shared a page for you puja, and you can go check them out. Otherwise, what is happening here is simply happening, and Moksha Mukti is simply speaking, expressing. Sherry says, watching the talks you do. It's not necessary to watch these talks or any talks. I mean, you're coming back because you're wanting something. And Moksha Mukti is pointing to you. What you're seeking is already available to you now, you see. And that's not making sense to you. Now you're coming back here to make sense. In that, therefore, Moksha Mukti also offers you one-on-one session. And your name is, see, your name is here, drawn in that drawing. So you may win an opportunity so we can go deeper. See, we'll be talking instead of just writing. We'll be talking either via Skype or Facebook Messenger or on the telephone. So in that talks, we can go deeper for you to point to deeper. You see? And this talk simply happening. And Vivian writes, you do have something to give, knowledge. Well, Moksha Mukti says there is nothing to give, but yes, for you it seems like it is knowledge. It seems like it is information, but this simply is phrases, and you can use these phrases for you to see what Moksha Mukti is pointing. Certainly phrases, these phrases what Moksha Mukti is expressing are useful. He's not denying that. But this is not teaching. He's not teaching you anything. He's not giving you anything. He's not giving you speech. He's not giving you lecture. He's not telling you anything. He's simply pointing you to something that is already available to you. And for a few seconds, while you hear, this might be a reminder or on your own, don't believe in your thoughts, even for 15 seconds. Don't believe in your thoughts. Don't give attention to the thought. That's what Moksha Mukti is pointing. Pooja Bachani writes, thanks. You're welcome, Pooja. And this talks what is happening. The word is describing something. There is a message, so-called pointers. And there is also pointers, Sherry, in the silence. What Moksha Mukti does not say, there is also pointers. He's pointing to that. Ariel Rat says, hello Moksha. Hello Ariel, thanks for joining again. Namaste. Ilona Fortunato says, nice to see you again. Hey Ilona, thanks for joining again. Namaste. Sherry says, thanks for directing me to the source, my lovely. You're welcome. You're welcome, Sherry. all these words, all this expression, all the silence, all this gathering is pointing you to that. And Moksha Mukti is glad you coming into this gathering. You see, making this gathering possible, commenting and sharing your experience, sharing your thoughts. You see. Ilona says same to you. Cancer, what do you say? Did you want me to say something about cancer, Ilona? All diseases are created by four things, Ilona. One, it is created by your DNA. Number two, it is created by the environment that we live in. Number three, it is created by the food that you eat. Number four, it is created by the thoughts. Yes, even your own thoughts can give you disease. And what Moksha Mukti is pointing to you, when you give attention to the source, when the recognition happens in the source, when you experience the source, it itself creates possibilities for you to heal everything. It itself creates possibility, infinity possibilities, and it itself creates miracle for you. You see? And by coming here, by listening to what Moksha Mukti is saying in this gathering, by being in this gathering, there are people reported back to Moksha Mukti, hey, by coming here I was healed. I had some pain in the body, but by coming here, listening to you, I was healed. It's because he's pointing you to the source, he's pointing you to give attention, and when you actually put effort and give attention, it's possible that you experience the source, you recognize the source. In the recognition, healing happens. Viviana says, how is your back today? Pain is still there, Vivian. The sensation is still there. And just the way that I'm sitting, I'm moving, trying to get to the right posture, you see. And in there is no pain. And you cannot deny that. You cannot deny suffering. Everyone suffers. Everyone suffers in the human form. Thanks for asking, Vivian. Ilona says yes. Eulalia says, I know there has been a good chance for me since I joined. Well, good. Ilona writes, I know the source, but still, it's concern. Very positive. There is no way to know the source, Ilona. There is no way to know the source. Thought will never know the source. The mind will never know the source. There will be recognition. There will be experiencing this. There will be seeing. Not through the eyes, but something there within you, unique, that sees that. That sees the source. And a lot of your pain is coming either from posture, back pain is coming either from posture, or not even drinking enough water. Sometimes even the water will cause your back pain to go away. Simple glass or 2 glasses of water, or sitting it rightly. Hang on just 1 second. I'm giving live talks now. They can hear you. And by coming here, you're not gonna really get anything. And some wise guy was commenting earlier to one of my posts, "Hey, you are wrong that my thoughts do not lie to me. So pay me money." Ilona says, "So happy to join." Thanks. You're welcome. Glad you joined today. Spiritual writes, "Is the source like the God or higher being within us, part of the universe?" Spiritual source is the universe. If God exists, source is the God. Source is everything. Infinity, limitless, formless, nameless, all pervading, and it is available to you now in this present moment. Lali McGregor joins. Hello Lali, thanks for joining. Namaste. Lali says, "Do our souls recognize the source?" Lali, Moksha Mukti does not know what souls is. Although you may say the source is the soul, but who knows? That is just an assumption. Your attention recognizes the source, not the soul. Your attention. Because most of your attention is consumed by your thoughts. Thoughts have been consuming your attention. Thoughts have been consuming your energy. Thoughts have exhausted you. Pooja Bachani writes, "You are a super soul." Ariel says, "It's energy." Yes, very true. Whenever you give a label or name, Ariel, then that is not the source. That is your thought. Imagining of the source. Thought is imagining of the source and giving a name. That's a cheap way to go. And through this modus operandi, you will never know what the soul is. You will never know what the source is. Because through thought will never recognize that. Thought wants to know. Thought wants to get. Thought wants to understand, but never. And through thinking, what you're saying, through thinking, you will not be able to recognize it. Only your attention, your effort, not through thinking. And Moksha Mukti pointed out, don't believe in the thoughts, you see. And don't believe in your thoughts while you hear at this moment what is pointing out, you see. And whenever you can, whenever you have free time, he's pointing you, don't believe in your thoughts, you see. He's simply pointing out. But he's not forcing you. He's not telling you. He's simply pointing out. And he's simply describing how he is functioning. You see. Lali McGregor says Namaste. Namaste, Lali. Thanks for being here. Thanks for sharing your comments. Spizua says thanks. You're welcome, Spizua. Lali says thank you very much. You're welcome, Lali. Joy Hooker. Hello, Joy. Thanks for joining. Namaste. Joy says you must have awareness. Joy, I don't know what you mean by that. Yes, you are. The awareness is there. Awareness is there in thoughts also. Svijua says you have to feel the source. Not feeling. Again, you're just trying to understand. Instead of understanding, pay attention to that. You are trying to understand, you are feeding the thought. It's not feeding the thought. You see, it's giving attention to the source. It's giving attention to the source, that is observing your feelings, experiences, thoughts, intuition, emotions, heart, body, mind, everything, anything. It's observing everything. And give attention to that. That is observing. Observing. Thought is assuming, imagining, labeling, identifying. As thought is doing that. Even feelings and emotions are sensitized thoughts taught to you. Feelings and emotions are taught to you by your parents. Those are sensitized thoughts. Ilona writes, thought does consume, but you go the source. Well, thought consumes your attention, so instead of giving to the thought, you going to the source. And by going to the source, you're observing. Going to or giving attention to that is something that is observing within you. That is observing everything. Visualize, yes, awareness. Awareness is still limited. In the source, you are even being aware of your awareness. You are even observing your awareness. Vivian writes, observe is the word. Observe might be the word, but observe might be a word, but observing is the word. Vivian, observing. Joy writes, be the witness. No, no, Joy, that's not Moksha Mukti is pointing. You're not trying to be anything other than who you already are. You wanting to be is actually causing you the problem. You are simply who you are. No being is necessary. But in that recognition, being itself evolves. Being itself created naturally. There is no need to be, because being is not now in the future. Observing, witnessing, observing. I like the word observing. In that recognition, the pain dissolves. In that observing, the pain dissolves. Because majority of pain that is given to you by your own thought. Thought contracts you, and giving attention to the source opens you up. See, to unlimited possibilities. Thought is limited, it limits you and boxes you, and your possibilities are limited. And it narrows down, narrows down, narrows down. The more you use thought, thought narrows down, narrows your possibilities. Ilona says, sorry, did not hear you. So what is happening now is hearing, seeing, sensing, tasting, perceiving, speaking, interpreting, thinking. Thinking, all of them are happening, and observing is observing all of them. And in a way, this is meditation, but this is natural meditation, happening naturally, without any effort. And Moksha Mukti does not recommend artificial meditation. I'm trying to see how long Moksha Mukti has been speaking. There's a ways to tell, but from here, anyway, I think he's speaking for 1.5 hours. Pooja writes, thanks so much for knowledge. Pooja, this is not knowledge, simply pointers. Pointers for you to look within, pointer for you to give your attention within to the source that is available to you now. Vivian writes, what do you mean by artificial meditation? Artificial meditation, Vivian, is taught to you by, like, close your eyes and focus on one point. Something like that is artificial meditation. And there have been a lot of research coming out by scientists that even artificial meditation reduces your stress, cures your disease or minimizes your disease, give you less pain. There have been research is conducted and facts been given by the scientists. But Moksha Mukti does not recommend artificial meditation unless you have a pain, you have a disease, you want to minimize stress, then yes, that may be helpful to you, but he doesn't recommend that. He recommends simply giving attention to that source that is already within you now, in this present moment. Not in the past, not in the future, but now. Experiencing that now. And when you're thinking that you are taking that in the future, you'll say, first I'm going to understand all this, then I'm going to give attention to the source. And in the reality, what is happening is you're imagining about the source through thinking, and now you're giving attention to that thinking, imagination of that source, not the real source. The real source is already available to you now. Haidar. Hey Haidar, thanks for joining. Writes, is there any danger of opening the third eye by oneself without the guidance of a master? I do not know what you mean by third eye. What do you mean by third eye? What Moksha Mukti is pointing here is the source. The source is available to you now in this present moment. And in there is uncertainty, yes. Going to the source, there is uncertainty. But you are already equipped to everything that you need to observe, experience, recognize, and live. Victor says, Namaste Moksha. Namaste Victor. Thanks for joining again, brother. Wagner Ryan Cow Sr. says, Namaste friend. Namaste Wagner. Thanks for joining again. Hari Siddha Aga Agyat Ajnat Chakras. Moksha Mukti do not believe in chakras. If there are chakras, by giving attention to the source, that itself will align it, that itself will open it. Validate and verify everything. Don't take anything for granted. Validate and verify. While in observation, validate and verify. Every phrases you heard, everything you read, everything you see. Validate and verify. Especially those directly affecting your life. Directly affecting your experiences. Directly about your functionality. Hey Wagner, thanks for sharing Moksha Mukti's live feed. So your name will be placed on this drawing here. Now there are 14 of you here. Wagner, Ryan, Kraus Sr. If you share Moksha Mukti's live feed or video, your names will be placed in a drawing for opportunity to win one-on-one free session with Moksha Mukti. And if there are many of you, there will be 2 drawings. So feel free to share, you see. And if there are more of you, then there will be 3 sessions, 4 sessions, you see. You're not limited. I think in one group I want to put a maximum of 10 people for the drawing. So you have a chance of 1 out of 10, 10% chance of winning. Just a little FYI. Hey Vivian, by the way, right now there is no pain. No pain at all. While you're asking, the pain was there. The pain is gone. Maybe just the way I'm sitting. Tracy Newbacher says, Namaste, my friend. Namaste, Tracy. Thanks for joining. How are you? Hey Mark, thanks for joining, but your language is not welcome in this group here. So if you keep on doing that, I'm going to block you. Wagner says those are good odds. Vivian says glad to hear that. Yes, Vivian. Tracy Newbacher says great. Hey Tracy. Tracy says hi. Hi Tracy. Haidar says, is what you're saying, paying attention to source, the same as process of meditating? No. Meditation requires practice, meditation requires expertise, meditation requires a lot of effort, a lot of time. Paying attention to now doesn't, even for 15 seconds, doesn't require practice. It simply allows you to experience the source, and in there is a possibility for you to create natural meditation, and that's happening to Moksha Mukti, and that's what he's pointing. Ryan says, good question. Vivian says, going to the source is effortless. Yes, it's simple. You can't say total effortless. There is effort, but it feels like effortless. And once you recognize it, then you may say it's effortless. But initially it requires effort because you have forgotten to give attention. Jeannie Kirkland says, hi Moksha, I am afraid I live in a country that doesn't respect peace. How do I encourage them to be more peaceful? Jeannie, thanks for joining. Namaste. Peace is not out there, Jeannie. What Moksha Mukti is pointing, that peace is already available to you now, and he is simply pointing you to give attention to the source. And in the reality, if everyone gives attention to the source, not so much to the thought, there will be total peace. However, don't get your hopes high. That is not going to happen, because thought demands attention, and majority of humans are consumed by thought's attention. But your peace is not out there. It's already within you, and you can be peaceful right now in this present moment. And just because he knows, Moksha Mukti knows that if everyone gives attention to the source, even for a few minutes, it's possible to have total peace even for 1 day, 2 days, a week. You see? Dalia Silva. Hello, Dalia. Dalila. Thanks for joining. Namaste. It's good evening. Dalia here. When I meditate to see colors deep in blue and purple, sometimes they top a pyramid with a strong bright light on the top. Is that my connection to the no? That is simply imagination. Wagner says, great response. Ariel says, I notice when it rains I ache more. Possibly. Maybe there is a connection to your thought and the pain. Victoria Dugas Ram says, hello Victoria, thanks for joining. Namaste. Wagner says, so it's not just me, so this is normal. What are you talking about, Wagner? What is normal? Seems to be. Ariel says seems to be. Yes. See, observe. Maybe that is coming from a thought. Jessica Moray Warner says, hola, good day to you. Hello Jessica, thanks for joining. Namaste. Same to you. Wagner says, well, without any thought of the rain and more pain. Yeah, there is a connection between that in the thought level. In the thought level, in the physiological level, I don't see any connection how a rain can give you pain. There was a maybe experience that was created that gave you pain at the time, and that experience is stored in a memory, and whenever that rain happens, that recreates that experience for you and pulls that experience from the memory and gives you pain. Jeannie writes, I meditate every morning, but sometimes it's hard to let the negativity of the world go. How do I get to that place? By the way, hello. Hello, Jeannie. Jeannie. The one that is asking the question, how do I get to that place, is asking from the thought. Don't give attention to that. Give attention to the source, because it's not like how do I get to that place. You can get to that place now. It's not how. It requires attention to that observing. That is observing everything. and all so-called negative is just the interpretation of the thought. Thought is saying that, and don't give attention to the thought is what Moksha Mukti is pointing. That is why I question how that happens. That is your functionality, that is how you are wired, that is how the thought system is made of. That is the nature of the thought. It's like, why does it rain? It rains. Okay, I've got a question here in inbox, and I'm not going to reveal that who questioned that. But I'm going to read the question. Is it okay to read the question? Janet Wishu, tough last name, Janet. Hey there, I can feel it before it broke my leg. Hey Janet. Feel it before it come. What do you feel in your broke leg, Janet? Wagner writes, however, by not focusing on the pain and or the rain, it can be minimized. Pandora completely forgotten about and not noticed, and much by giving attention away from thoughts and more to inside the source and energy. Yeah, when you don't believe in a thought or pay attention to the thought, that experience is not recreated. Now you're living now in the present moment. That is recreating in your experience, because now you're going back to that past. Now if you by being here and now, it just becomes something, experience. Eulalia writes, are recurring dreams also from mind? Okay, that's a good question, Eulalia. Everything is a dream. Universe is dreaming. You dream, and you even dream now. This is also a dream. Everything is happening in the dream, and you are seeing the dream. You are seeing the dream in your consciousness, appearing in your consciousness. Ginny says, hello from South Carolina. I live in pain. Namaste, South Carolina. I live in a pain. That is statement coming from the thought. Everyone is living in a pain, but your pain is exaggerated by the thought. Let me read a question that is inbox. I'm not going to reveal who said that, but if that's inbox, it says, I am too ashamed to ask on live feed. I've been sick for almost 3 years. I exercise, eat healthy, but I have constant infection, ear, throat, sinus, a knee injury that require 2 surgeries, 3 miscarriages, 1 tubal pregnancy, 3 bouts of pneumonia, but list goes on and on. None of my ailments coincide with each other. I don't know what to do anymore. I am so sad and tired and being sick. Is there anything I can do to add more positive energy into my life? I can't go on living like this. There is dark cloud looming over me. I'm not going to reveal that who asked this question, but whoever asked that question, you know who you are. First of all, seek help. Okay, seek help. And in the meantime, accept it. Whatever is happening to you, accept what has happened to you. It's simply life, simply giving you experiences. maybe it's teaching you something, you see. And that observing itself, through observing, you know what it's trying to teach you. And that's what Moksha Mukti say, give attention to that, to the source. And in there is a possibility of a miracle. There is infinite possibilities. By giving too much into thought, thought is creating negatives. By too much thinking, it's giving you down, bringing you down. You see. Dark cloud looming over me is the interpretation of the thought. Thought is saying that. Accept it. It's okay. It's okay. It's okay to feel sad. It's okay to happen like that. Accept it. And there is a possibility of miracle. Possibilities of infinite possibilities. But thought brings you down. Thought exaggerates your pain. Vivian writes, a world of illusions. No, not world of illusion. World is the illusion, Vivian. Okay, so by the way, if you want to ask something like personal, like this person asked on inbox, you are welcome to ask question like that. If you don't want to reveal who is asking the question, and Moksha Mukti is not reveal who you are, but he will read the questions and answer the questions. Jessica Murray Warner says, I am an empath trying not to let myself become overwhelmed by others' negativity. I am affected strongly by others' anxiety, anger, pain. I have heard of gems and dyads, but is there anything else I should be doing to protect myself? Jessica, what Moksha Mukti is pointing is that so-called negativity, anger, pain, everything is exaggerated by the thought. And you do not need any gems or dyads, anything like that. Maybe a glass of water will do the trick. You see. And simply giving attention to yourself, to the source within you. See that in there is a possibility that you won't be overwhelmed. There's a possibility for you to have infinite possibilities in the source. That's what Moksha Mukti is pointing to you. Hey, that's not fair. There is one group that just kicked Moksha Mukti out. And it's okay, it's kind of painful. There's a slight pain, you know, someone does that. How can you do that? See, when Moksha Mukti, majority of you report back to Moksha Mukti, hey, you know, you're doing good service. Still, this group possibly threatened, or it just happened by itself. I am no longer in that group. You know, this is okay. I accept it because it is what it is. Because this is a big world and there are infinite possibilities. In the thought level now, you're limiting. Where that group kicked me out, now what I'm going to do? You know. No, thought, there's infinite possibilities. Like one group kicks you out, there are other groups. Larger group than what that group kicked you out. Do not limit yourself by a thought. Do not believe in a thought. Now, my beliefs are, oh, how do I get back to the group again? How do I get back to the group? That's what thought is saying. Don't believe in that thought. There are infinity possibilities. Source itself will show you the infinite possibilities. Source itself will show you the miracle. Accept it. So it happened. Just like you experience your negativity, now that someone got, either they got threatened or they got jealous or something, say, well, we don't want him here. It could happen to you also. It is happening to you also. And don't believe in their thought. Simply accept the source. In their source, you don't need them. They'll come back to you and beg for you. You see? Because what is here cannot be denied. You can deny them, but what is here cannot be denied. And them, or so-called, doesn't even exist. It's created by the thought. Anne Burns, hey Anne, thanks for joining. Namaste. Says, what is the best way to find a place to live? Live in the source, Anne. Give attention to that. That is your home. That itself will guide you. Wagner writes, what group? That is their loss, my friend. Yeah, Wagner, Moksha Mukti is not going to reveal what group is that. There is one group. It's a big group. Large number of people there. Certainly a large group, but it's okay. You see, it is what it is. See, simply this is all happening. Dance of quantum, dance of universe, dancing and creating all these experiences. And if you give on to that, and they won, or they get what they wanted, but not by agitating, not by bothering to that thing. You see, you are much bigger than that, because the source is much bigger than that. You see, there is infinite possibilities, infinite, limitless possibilities, and there is an infinite possibility to create miracle. See, maybe group 10-fold bigger than that, maybe 100-fold bigger than that up here. You see, and wanting Moksha Mukti, and it will happen if you believe in that. If you believe in that attention. If you believe in your own attention, not giving into something outward that is already inward, see, that itself will guide you. And you don't need anything else. You need that. That's why you need to give attention. You see. But you don't need anything what is outward. If you need that, then you're giving power to that. When the thirst happen, you will find water. When you're hungry, you'll find food. Ariel writes, empaths are very sensitive. Well, do not assume, do not label yourself empath, this, that, and other. You are neither empath nor that. You are simply the source. You are simply the universe. You are simply the existence, existing. Do not limit yourself as empath. Maybe that is your profession as an empath, but you are much bigger than that. Infinity, limitless, all pervading. Vivian says everything happens for our own good. Everything happens, simply happens. It's good or bad is interpreted by the mind. Simply happens. What happened is simply happened. Simply happens. You accept it and move on. Maybe they're wanting Moksha Mukti to get mad. Moksha Mukti to get agitation. Hey, wrong person, buddy. Wrong person who is trying to do that. And he's pointing to you that also, so it can happen that to you also. Not feel agitated by anything. Not feel agitated, bothered by outside circumstances, because within you, that source within you, who you are untouched by any outward event. Oh, there is too much pain in the world. Oh, there is not too much peace in the world. The peace is already within you. You don't try to change the world, you change yourself. And 1% at a time, when you change yourself, there is a possibility that you can change others. Even 1% you can change. And your goal is not to change. See, you are simply existing, simply describing how you're existing. Truly. And Moksha Mukti is giving you the truth. You may not like the truth, you may not accept the truth, but he's telling the truth. And don't take this as a truth. Don't accept this as a truth until you verify and validate within your own functionality. Good and bad is just the interpretation of the mind. In the reality, there is no good, no bad. One thought can say this is good, and the next thought can say that is bad. Simply a thought, and simply mind interpreting according to your conditioning. Ariel say attention to the source, right? Yes, give attention to the source. That's what Moksha Mukti is pointing. Wagner says yes, very true. I think I skip Jeannie's question here. If I take certain medicine that I have a vivid terrible dream that I remember, by the way, I have been told I don't have long to live, I am not afraid anymore, but the medicine is a must. Ginny, give attention to the source that is available to now whenever you can, and there is a possibility for you to create miracle and there's a possibility for you don't have to take that medicine, and it's possibility that you don't have to go so soon. Moksha Mukti is not saying it is going to happen, but there is a possibility when you give attention to the source. Wagner writes, what advice do you have for others, for those who have difficulties giving attention to the source, and advice do you have for them to give this attention to the source which is said you not understand? There is no advice, Wagner. Moksha Mukti is not giving you advice. Moksha Mukti is not telling you anything. Moksha Mukti is not teaching you anything. Moksha Mukti is simply giving you pointers. The source is already available to you. Attention is already available to you. I mean, give it to that, not to the thought. And source is observing. That's all Moksha Mukti can point you. And if you don't understand that, then we know it's time. We may have to go one-on-one. And your name is given, and you may win that opportunity, or you can request. I know you've been wanting to go one-on-one. Hello Ellen, thanks for joining. Namaste. Writes, we almost always keep into account that before entering our physical bodies we made a pact and agreed to a certain number of words and breaths. We all know all before it happens. We are all the size of the universe. Who knows? No one knows that. Did we ever enter the physical bodies? Who knows? Who knows that we are given certain number of words and breaths? Who knows that? No one knows. It is just an assumption, imagination. Ryan writes, Wagner writes, I understand. How do you explain giving attention? How does one give attention to the source? It's not physical, and maybe helping them understand what I understand, explaining, but it's much more difficult. Yes, it is difficult to understand is because you're trying to understand through the thought. For the thought will never understand. That's why it's causing you to be difficult. It is simple. And it is simple, you would not accept this, you would not believe this. If it's difficult, you accept it. Says not I. Yes, we probably need to go one-on-one. Who is that I that you call yourself I? There is no I, is it? Is there? Maybe that's the question for one-on-one, because whenever I ask that question, majority of you don't respond back. Beverly Perry says hello. Hello Beverly, thanks for joining. Namaste. So I only got a few more minutes. I've got to go pick up my daughter. So we're going to go and end this session in a few minutes. And we'll try to conduct this tomorrow. And if you have any questions, comments, concerns, you can send inbox. Questions, comment, concern. or if you want to go deeper, request Moksha Mukti's one-on-one session, or share his videos and links, and there is a possibility for you to win a one-on-one session. So your names will be written here, when you share, and there will be drawings. There will be multiple drawings, and from there your name will be drawn if you're lucky, and you'll get a free one-on-one session, or you can request one through Moksha Mukti's website, and he has already given the website there. So it looks like Elaine Alandarai says the wisdom of Kabbalah in the Zohar. Well, perhaps that's the wisdom, but what Moksha Mukti is pointing you that the wisdom is already within you now. What Moksha Mukti is pointing is that there is no need for any textbooks. There is no need for any scriptures, because everything is already available to you, and what Moksha Mukti is speaking so far is already stemming from the source. You see, he does not read any books, he does not listen to anyone. Simply happening, this simply happens, and Moksha Mukti uses these words, you see, appears in his consciousness or reveals to him, and he simply utters these words, you see. But if you want to read Kabbalah, Bible, Quran, Gita, whatever you want to read, Moksha Mukti is not against that, but Moksha Mukti does not recommend. Ariel says namaste, namaste. Ellen says the wisdom is in the heart. Yes, wisdom in the heart, body, mind, everywhere there is a wisdom. Even the body, there is a wisdom. Body is tremendously intelligent. So I'm going to read one more questions, Wagner questions, then after that we're going to end this session. Wagner says, I noticed the observing these chats other ask and may not understand, giving attention to the source which is not physical. I am asking for the others having troubles understanding, also not understand the right question to ask for finding this understanding, attention to the source. Thank you. Well, for that, then we may need to go one-on-one, Wagner. Only few of you here actually reported they understand this, because they actually give attention to the source. They actually use effort to give attention to the source, and when that happens, then there is a possibility for you to recognize that. See, not everyone is going to recognize this, you see. So that's why Moksha Mukti offers one-on-one session. So anyway, have a blissful day, have a wonderful day, no matter what situation is going through your life, no matter what situation you are in. Even the lady who asked me question in inbox, I'm not going to reveal her name. So much pain going on, so much whatever situation going through. Bless you all, and have a great day, and we'll speak to you again next time. Namaste. And how do I end this live session? I gotta end this live second.